there's no point, sitting there late in life and say, oh, I wish. That's harder to take than the no.
I totally agree with that.
Than failing.
Yeah, like that's worth it.
That's so much scarier.
That's
it's so much scarier to wonder if it could have worked than trying and then it never worked.
Right.
You know?
Or not trying at all.
Or not trying at all.
مغامرة كلها حماس وتشويق وإثارة. عمر انتربرنور اند ستارت اب انفستور بلوس أنجلوس كاليفورنيا. صفوان مدير واحد من أهم الفنادق بجدة.
الفايبز جدا جميلة هنا.
اخترت الرجل المناسب للمهمة المناسبة.
صديقين غير عن كل الأصدقاء تركوا كل شيء في سبيل الحلم الأكبر.
So Omar and Safwan.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we're actually having this conversation because I always wanted to do a show about divergent thinking, about thinking outside the box. Everybody picks traditional careers, and it's quite hard for people to understand that there is a world of opportunity that comes with thinking outside the box, outside of a traditional career. And you guys have done exactly that. So I'm going to allow you both to kind of introduce yourselves,
Sure.
and then we can go dive deep in questions.
Okay.
You're here at 37. You're in the hospitality. You are more so in,
Just in space.
In startup
Yeah.
investments and stuff like that, right? You're still discovering yourself, and you're both sort of at that age. Now, a lot of people assume, especially the younger generation, they worry a lot. They're like, yeah, but I'm 26. I don't know what I want to do. And I'm 28. I don't know what I want to do. But here you guys are at 37, having found a career path, having moved around as well in your education, but you still shifted gear entirely. You came together around this age, and now you were doing what?
Now, at this current moment,
Yes. Because you still jumped outside of your career.
We own two companies.
Yeah.
One is a camel breeding company. We breed beauty camels, and we have the entire system working in this industry. Why camels? See the horse industry in the world. Now the camel industry will be the same. So we saw an opportunity.
But what made you think of, from hospitality to startup investments, what made you think of camel trading?
Omar came back.
Camel
and
breeding.
I was like, okay, it's time to do something after we agreed that we have to move and do something. So I told him, Omar, I saw some movement on the internet around the camels. There is a huge festival that the king attends, the crown prince attends, and the camels are being sold for 10 million, 20 million Saudi riyals, 3 million. And we don't know anything about it, and this is a very good challenge. One, we love challenges. If we put something in our heads, we do it. And we can bring a lot of added value to the industry since it's still growing. He started laughing for two reasons. First, I am scared of all animals. Cats, birds, you name them.
Chipmunks.
Everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, camels, we don't know anything about it. It's like, Omar, think about it. There is an opportunity. It's new, it's growing. Let's grow with it. And you love animals. He's an animal lover.
Me too, high five. I'm with you on that.
Then it started. Ella, you continue the part.
So when he first said it and he started saying the numbers, I've heard this a lot before. Oh, this is worth this and worth that. But it doesn't mean we're going to get that. That's just a number. So that's not what changed my mind. Like, okay, I've heard that in the IT world. We've seen it. But he was determined. So it's not like this and then, okay, he said no, so let's forget it. He's like, no. 2 days later, he said, I found the camel that we're going to compete and win. Like, oh, okay, guys, done some research. Where is this? And he said Bahra. Bahra is not a place where you go and buy championship, camels. But I said, maybe he found, a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. So we went to this nice farm for camels, and I'm colorblind. So we see, several camels, babies, and we're like, this one, this one, this one. Then we're like, okay, this one, we want this one. And the guy's like, oh, this is good for cholesterol, this is good for your blood pressure, this was good. So I'm like, wait, what are you saying? He's like, this is for food. How many people are you inviting? This is for food. I said, no, we want to compete He started laughing, said, no, no, no.
Why no? Why is he saying no?
Because we want to compete. This is for food. Like this is.
Yeah, but is there a reason he won't sell it to you just because you want it to compete?
No, no, he was
He's being
laughing.
honest.
He was being honest.
He's being honest.
Yeah.
Okay, I said he's not trained.
No,
He
he's
goes,
being
"No."
honest.
Okay.
No, if you're looking for this, this is not.
This is not
No,
it.
no.
Okay, got
Yeah.
you.
It's like, you know, you're going to an F1 race.
With a ladder.
Yeah, or yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. So at that point, we're like, okay, you know what? We came this far. We're not going back to our families with nothing. We say, okay, we're gonna save one of these camels, and we took one, and we called her Fatha. And Fatha, we called her Fatha because we felt it's like Fatha, the beginning of something great.
But you can imagine, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
From this beginning till we are now, we are really entrepreneurs. We have a seat on the table in the camel world. We've already breeded, we've sold, we've made money. And plus, we have a production company that produced our story from this moment Omar told you about till now.
To where we are now.
Did you start with the production from the get-go?
No.
Did you have it planned, or were you just naturally filming?
No.
No.
This is now the second part. After we finished from our journey in the camel world, which you will see in the series we produced, which is coming soon. How did we start the production company to film our story?
So production, you're talking video production.
Yes.
And you did this in line on purpose because you had a vision of filming this journey?
After we finished our journey in the camels, he was like, hey, this is worth telling the world.
Okay, gotcha.
So let's film it. Let's redo all the events.
Oh, you redid the event.
We
redid the
did
events.
all the events
No way.
again
Yeah,
in 50 days.
So I said, okay. And we met with this famous director, writer, that helped us put together a deck, a storyline, a structure. And then at that point, we're like, all right, this is it.
We're getting the Oscars.
100%. We're going for the red carpet. And then we started going out to sponsors.
Right.
Or people, companies that, streamers and so forth, that, fund series and
To
movies.
produce, yeah.
To produce it. And the first meeting, after the presentation, we felt we knocked it out of the park. They knocked us, really. They said, we don't know you. And we're like, well, we just explained this. Like, no, you don't have followers. You've never done anything before. We've never seen you on camera. I don't think, we're not taking the risk. You're not right for this. And that's not saying that your work was bad. That's knocking you as a person. Like, you guys.
It's just worse, actually. It
It's
feels
very
much worse.
Yeah, it's like you guys, like you are not, it won't work. So that's when we really, took a step back and we're like, what do we do? Like, we want to tell the story. We feel we'd be good on camera, and they have a point. Why would you take a risk on newbies? We're 38 at the time, never done something, no followers. So we understood why they said yes, we just didn't know, we didn't like it. So Saf said, okay, like the camel world, maybe we can figure out a way to bootstrap this or find a different mechanism of funding this. So we dipped into our savings, we sold our cars, and we got two sponsors, one a very known, prestigious car manufacturer, sponsored part of the show, and then a coffee company, local coffee company from Saudi did as well. So that gave us impetus to like, oh, okay, this is great. And so we put the funds together, bootstrapped it, found a production company, and then we said, Oscar time again. And then we started filming.
So I want to backtrack a bit. So you're taking us through this whole journey of how you move from one opportunity to another, one door closed, other doors open. How many sponsors did you have to approach before you got your two?
As many as hairs that I have on my beard.
More than, I had a list, I still remember the number, 41. And we got two. But we didn't stop. Why? First of all, by the way, I left my job.
Yeah.
In hospitality, now, by then. Okay.
Yeah, when with the camel business, I said, okay, this is done.
we took money from the camel business as
And
well.
we took money from our camel business as well.
Yeah.
I left my job. Thank you very much. I've reached my first goal. It's time to move to the second. So we're in it full time.
Yeah.
We agreed that we won't take no for an answer, and there is nothing called impossible.
Yeah.
These two things were driving us all the way because it wasn't easy at all. There are so many things that we have faced on a personal level, on a career level, on an opportunity level that could break anyone.
Can you run us a bit through that?
Yeah.
I mean,
After we filmed,
Like, what were the hardest, the most challenging things?
I'll tell you, after we filmed, we discovered that not only we have an amazing story, it's a heroic story, it's an inspiring story, plus we got to see our beautiful country. We filmed in 9 different locations in Saudi. And after we saw the end product, people around us, wow. So we had a rich show.
Yeah.
So we thought that anybody will take it.
Oscars.
Oscars
Again.
Paparazzis, red carpet.
Everything.
So we approached the first streamer. We're like, yeah, okay. But again, same answer.
Same answer.
You're not known. Why should we take your show?
Yeah, and then it was like, I saw a known streamer, huh? And then I said, oh, so you have 8 episodes? Make it 3. What?
After all this?
What? And then he's, oh, no, make it 6. Oh, so how am I, make it 5.5? You know, it's
just
random. Did you see the show? Yeah, we see. So again, that's a knock. That's, you know, a big knock. And I'm not comparing generations, but I think our generation, coming from the 90s, you get that a lot. You're growing up already with that mentality where everything is actually a no. Before, you know, before you say something, you know, like, can I have this cold? No.
It's no until you prove otherwise.
It's no until you prove otherwise. So inherently, we kind of have thick skin. That just being in the 90s, that's just the way it is. Then with our careers, you also get a lot of rejection. So that kind of shaped us. But here it was a different kind of no, because it was knocking your own work and your own you know, belief and your own as a person. That's being knocked. That was new. And so that needed some thought, and that needed a lot more determination to get over.
What was the hardest obstacle to get over?
When we finished,
You know, because the reason I ask is because, I mean, I'm also a 90s girl, and I'm 37 soon, August.
Oh, you don't look 37.
I don't?
No.
I speak like the wise 37-year-old that I am. So, and I know the feeling. I mean, I think testing your opportunity always comes at the risk of feeling the feeling of discomfort, rejection. You know, it's easy to stay in your cocoon because you don't feel the feeling of rejection or missed opportunity or someone ahead of you. And especially when you know what you can offer, you know what you can bring to the table, you're so sure, but people keep saying no, and then it makes you feel like for a second you doubt yourself, right? And only the few people are okay to try again and push again and pick themselves up again. I've felt the moment sometimes where, you know what, it's just too hard, and it takes me, let's say, a couple of weeks or a month to say, keep going, Tracy. You know, you have to keep going. You're going to get 100 no's before someone says yes. Did you have a specific moment where it almost felt like this is just not worth it anymore?
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of loss of money, a loss of just even like your ego, you know, like bruising your ego so bad. You tried so hard, you pushed so hard, and then another no. Which was the moment where you guys felt that?
It's a full year of no's. A full year from the time we received the final product after post-production. 2022 had 2 major events. We had no's all the way, that's just no's, and people keep us waiting, and nobody's taking it seriously. Nobody wants to take it, and we felt, khalas, we did something and it won't go on air.
Yeah.
We'll keep it on WhatsApp.
We said we'll keep it on WhatsApp.
You want to see it? Here
is the link, and just
we'll
watch
share
it.
Yeah.
It's just a continuous no.
Yeah.
Plus, we've been on this journey together as friends. We're friends, by the way, for 27 years.
And a half.
Since we're kids.
Half is important.
Of course.
So if we've done this, يعني خلاص, we agreed that we're going to do it together. If we finished, when we're ready for the next phase to go and sell the show, then some family incidents happened that we had to not be apart for 9 months, me and Omar. And trying to sell the show remotely. Him in Los Angeles, I'm in Jeddah, 12 hours difference. He's awake, I'm sleeping, vice versa. We have a small window to do a Zoom meeting, to call the distributor, to call the platform. It was a nightmare.
To edit,
to edit, to re-edit. You can name all these challenges.
Everything.
So you guys took on all the, I mean, aside from the sponsors that helped, you guys paid from your own pockets as well.
We sold our cars.
Yeah, sold our cars.
And when we were shooting, I used to look at the camera, I was like, that's my car.
Yeah.
That's my car. I love that. Do you think it's always the case where if you believe in something, the risk is worth it, or sometimes it's just maybe too risky? Like, where do you lie with this?
We lie if your dreams doesn't scare you, they're not big enough. You just have to, if you want to be something in this world and add something to this world and participate in making it a better place, you have to think big. You have to really believe, and you have to take risk. The higher the risk, the higher.
Yeah, you have the higher the reward. But you have to, you have to try it. There's no point, sitting there late in life and say, oh, I wish. That's harder to take than the no.
I totally agree with that.
Than failing.
Yeah, like that's worth it.
That's so much scarier.
That's
it's so
worth
much
it.
scarier to wonder if it could have worked than trying and then it never worked.
Right.
Or
Or not trying at all.
Or not trying at all.
Right, because a lot of people, and this is not right or wrong, but a lot of people would knock people who try. Oh, look, she tried. Like, okay, but they tried. Like, why aren't, why wouldn't you try? If I had the time, if I did this or I did this, I would do it. Yeah, you don't know. So it's just, that's a safety mechanism.
More so, it's a projection. I feel a lot of people project what they're afraid of onto you. So if you just left your career, sold everything, maybe that's someone's biggest fear, and they think they have a family and kids, and they're like, why would you do that? You're crazy, you're insane. But because it's his or her own fear, why are you projecting yours onto me, right?
Yeah. So you have that. And then the other thing is, I think a lot of us have to put things into context. Right? Now, at some point, the show wasn't with anyone, it was just there. And the knock was, okay, you did all of this, but it didn't land anywhere. And we were talking about global streamers. It's not like every day you wake up and be like, oh, I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna talk to this streamer or this streamer. They've got tons of content and applicants, and maybe 100% more talented than us, who have been in the space way longer than us and have done things for way longer. So to be at the stage in a conversation with these streamers, that's a mini win.
100%.
Right? So that's something we had to kind of check ourselves, be like, hey, listen, don't forget, like, we had no idea, or we didn't know about acting, producing, nothing. Now, this is our first rodeo. To be in the conversation is a win. I don't care about whatever anyone says. And they could say, but you guys are just safeguarding yourself. That's not safeguarding, that's fact. So everything has to be into context. Like, what's a mini win? What's a mini milestone? What's that? To get you to the next stage. No one came and produced something and they were like, maybe we're the first to get the Oscar first time. But I'm saying, usually it's
We will get it.
Yeah, inshallah, we will. And if not, we'll create our own Oscar and we'll do a
We'll
celebration.
send you one.
Yeah.
You send me, I need a red carpet event.
No problem, we'll do all of that. So context for everyone is important, to understand where you are, where you were, what you did to come this far, and what you need to do to get to the next stage.
Right.
And if anyone knocks you for that, so be it. That's not a knock on you at all. That's just the way it is.
So that's a good point to say. It's very easy to look at the end product, and if you're not there yet, you feel knocked down. Instead of realizing what every win is, like just getting that meeting, just having that person hear you, for instance, that you never thought you'd be in touch with, just being able to film and finish the episode, even if it's sitting in your phone.
On WhatsApp.
On the WhatsApp. So you know what I mean? There are small wins that keep people going. If you acknowledge them as
If you
wins.
And you have the right
You may
attitude.
not.
Yes.
Exactly. If you don't acknowledge them as wins and all you think is, but I just want this to be aired. What about all those steps that got you closer that are going to keep you in the game, right? It's so hard to stay in the game if you don't feel these small things are motivating you.
So this is something we figured out. Like we had to check ourselves. Like if someone was like, because our dream was, okay, we want it aired. And we would check ourselves, be like, hey, listen, calm down. Look where we are. And that's important to kind of also like keep yourself in check.
And we attended one of the international film festivals as if we owned the festival. That's how we did something. Maybe it's not aired yet, but the process, we rock.
Yeah.
We tuxed it up and we went and we are walking like if we owned the festival. We start meeting people, greeting them, saying hello, top.
Do you guys believe in fake it till you make it?
It's sometimes it works.
Sometimes it works.
Sometimes
Fake it till you make it. You have to live your dream.
you have to
Just
live what
it.
you've done.
Live it.
Yeah.
Don't fake it. Live it, and it will
don't-
automatically come.
Yeah, actually, it's more so, especially when you're taking big steps like that. A lot of people have like an imposter syndrome where they feel like maybe it's too big for me, maybe I don't belong. And I mean, am I really doing a TV? Am I really like an actor now? Do I really have a show? And they kind of, it takes some time to wear those boots. And what you're saying is you're just like, no, I'm going to be confident enough to say, yeah, I did it. I'm going to own it. You know, it's an interesting way to approach it. I think it fast tracks things as well.
And if you're going through hell, walk like you own the place. Straight up.
So I mean, if you look at who's doing movies or TV shows in Saudi, and if you look at the history, they've been doing this for like 10 years at least, and they went through ups and downs and many wins and to reach this. So that also helps you kind of be like, okay, they took them 10 years, 5 years, whatever. Then you gotta be, no one's gonna let you in. Who are you? We just came. There's people in line here.
Right.
So you also have to kind of figure that out and understand, okay, where do you sit? We definitely felt that we belonged, right? We belonged because we did the show, we did something creative. We risk it in a way where they're like, okay, get professional actors. Why would and there could be people who could play us, but who would play us better
than you?
Yeah. Like, why would we do that? And again, people will be like, to make sure. Make sure what? That it's good? Well, then you make sure it's good. Like, take that risk on. You make sure it's good, right? Whatever you need to do, train, with acting coaches, consult, be humble, learn. You make sure. Put in the work. Don't just make it easy and get someone to do it. You do it. If it's great. If it's kind of in between, no problem. If it's bad, well, you got somewhere anyway.
I love that. In the world that we live in, especially with social media and followers, it's like your identity. If the higher the followers, the more respect you're supposed to get, which is something absolutely ridiculous, right? Because a lot of people have amazing talent, amazing work, but they're just maybe not interested in social media. They probably don't put themselves out there as much as other people. Do you think that was probably your biggest difficulty, the fact that, especially for TV or a streaming platform, just because you're not known to whoever, then it's not good enough? Because it actually works the opposite. A lot of people that are super well known are probably terrible actors. They have a really basic story, but just because they're well known, it bodes well for the streaming platform, and then they'll air their stuff.
It's commercial.
Do you think that was one of the biggest ones for you? Because I'm sure a lot of people out there feel, I want to say inferior for not a better choice of words, but they feel almost inferior to someone else, though their talent may be so much more, and they won't even bother launching a business, starting something, talking about their talents on social media because they think, I barely have any followers, and other people that have 500,000 are showcasing the same kind of work. I'm just not going to show mine anymore. And they stay cocooned in a small dream. Do you think that was a big struggle for you?
The fact of us not being known, it was a you don't, the word, absolutely, you don't have that bling
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah, we
that was written.
Yeah, I kept on hearing that you don't have the blink. Okay, so if you don't have, if we don't have this door, we are building one right now.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I think that's one. And the other one is, you know, and that's the other one actually makes sense, right? And the other one is, we've never seen you on camera, both of you. We don't know how good or bad you are, and we're not willing to take the risk to find out. That's legit. That's a legitimate cause for, like, I don't know, right?
So it's worth you taking that risk upon yourself then.
If you really believe,
Yeah.
then yeah.
I agree with that.
It's worth it.
Yeah, because you know, so you're right. I mean, you can't play victim. Some situations are what they are. True, you've never acted before. True, other people have been acting for God knows how long and who have the know-how. And why would I pick you?
Exactly.
And I think when a lot of people are in this situation, I'm in this situation. Many people are. If you are in that situation, your ego can't kick in and be like, yeah, because I think I'm good. You should kind of say, I may have to work a little harder, but I need to prove why. Pick me. Yeah. You know, maybe I take on the risk. I take on the funding and stuff like that for like you guys have done. But I want to ask a bit of an upfront question. How much of your opportunity came because you had money? And aside from sponsorship, if you're sitting on cash, because this is something a lot of people say, yeah, but they have money. They're able to fund it. Right. I don't have money. I don't come from a wealthy family. I don't have this. I don't have that. Especially when it comes to money. People put a lot of blame. My father didn't inherit me anything. I don't sit on cash. If I sat on cash, I could get things done. Do you actually think money played a huge factor for you?
Money is helpful. Yeah. But if you come from that background, there are different pressures. Right? Like if you come from a family that there are certain expectations of you as part of that family, right? That a lot of people in that position will say, you know what, I'm not taking any risks. I'm just going to be in the family business. I don't want people to look at me as a failure. I want to carry on the legacy. I'm not going left and right. So there's different kinds of pressure. So that's one. Two, the family might not give you money anyway, right? So those are big factors. And then if a lot of people say, oh, it's money, right. But what about all of these successes we hear in the startup world where people didn't have money and they made it? Pick anyone.
Like we just talked about, and sometimes you have to work a bit harder. Maybe those people need to fundraise for 2 years before the person that actually has funds, but they're still going to get there at some point.
Funding is not an issue now. There are plenty of places where they will give you money. Startups, movies, you name it, right? So within the startup world, any app that you use, Uber. Exactly. You think it was easy? No, he had to go through hell, and he got it. And he didn't come from a rich background. Steve Jobs. We can go down the list. All your favorite apps that you're using, they weren't, from families. So no, funding is a help, but a lot of funding could be also, money doesn't mean you're going to succeed. You could throw money away, you could burn money, so it's not a guarantee.
Product is a guarantee more than
and the effort and the work you put in.
Yeah.
And the right attitude, the right mentality of achieving and doing something, a bigger cause that you want to make good space around you, a better space.
Totally. I mean, you could put so much money on a restaurant business, but if your service is bad and your food is bad, all the money in the world is not going to save you.
And do people, no one wants to hear rejection or like, do you really think like a lot of these people who have money, and they're thinking, I don't want my dad, my siblings, my cousins, my friends will come and say, you have money, yet you didn't do well and you failed.
Correct.
That's a huge knock, right? You have to deal with that. You have to live with that. And a lot of people might not want to. Some people do. So it's in between. And one more thing I would say on that, it's always harder to go against someone that has nothing than someone that has, because the people that have nothing to lose. And that mentality and that drive is it's so hard to compete against those people because they will stop at nothing.
Correct.
Nothing. because they don't have a plan B. So you know, it's not. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I relate. I see that actually a lot. It's one of those things where, like you said, if you don't have a backup plan, this is all I've got. I'm going to put everything in it. And if you do have that safety net, I think it also works a lot with, let's say, people in relationships, or they have like a support or someone that they're leaning on, that's funding. They kind of have a foot in and out. I see this a lot with, let's say, a lot of my friends who want to start working, but they just took a break because they're having children right now. They want to start. They have ideas and dreams, but they don't take the step because, firstly, there's no pressure, and they have backup, and they have the house taken care of, the family taken care of. So they're kind of like, yeah, okay, maybe next year. And that's one example of motherhood, but this could also be with a high-end career. We have a lot of my male friends as well are, let's say, in high-end careers, and they watch people like me or other friends doing more entrepreneurial stuff, and then they think, yeah, but not this year for me. Like, I get a huge paycheck. I have 3 people depending on me. There's no, the risk factor is not worth it for them. But I want to talk about something that I hold very dear to my heart, and I felt the difference between when I was in investment banking, which I did for 10 years, and then what I'm doing right now. There's something that is super important, and I never learned until I started doing a job that I love. I love to do talks like this, public speaking, having deep dive into conversations. I'm in wellness, I'm in fitness as well. And I started off in this world saying that this was in 2018, that I'm just going to teach, private classes, learn about the fitness world. But start from that small, having left investment banking, I started like a dot in the industry to having, let's say, an app, and then getting engaged in different businesses with brands, collaboration, sponsorship for this event, activation here. Your mental capacity and your opportunity broadens so much when you care about what you're working on. When I was in finance, I felt boxed. This is my role. They told me I'm good at trading, and I can't do anything else. And if I want to do something else, oh no, Tracy, actually, until you're trading, this person's sales, they kind of tell you what to do, and you don't feel, open to try. And I would say the only reason I don't blame corporate for that. I blame doing something that you don't care so much about. Yeah. A lot of people love what they're doing in corporate, and then they get to be creative. They get to think outside the box. They're the ones that challenge management. They're the ones that say, you know what, this direction doesn't work. Let's try something else. And they push for it, and they push for it. So it's not to say that corporate's the problem. It's doing something that you're not very comfortable with. You kind of shy away from trying different things. So how would you say your difference is in how you're approaching this? Like, I love your story because, let's do production, let's film it. Camel trading or breeding? Just breeding.
Breeding and trading.
And
yeah.
trading.
And racing.
And racing.
Yeah.
And it's worth learning about it. It's worth trying the different things that come with it, How would you see yourself having changed your attitude towards, life and opportunity because of your situation?
We removed the box.
Yeah, no box.
Yeah, we think outside the box.
Yeah.
The box doesn't exist, actually.
But to more that, and you can explain this more. Yeah. Saudi removed the box.
Exactly.
Right. We have to. You gotta give a lot of respect, and you have to give a lot of, a lot of where we are is because, thankfully our leadership in Saudi opened up so many doors for us that we can jump in. So it's not like just, these guys. No, the opportunities have been, hey, this industry is open and this industry is open, and we're going to make it easy to do this and that. Now all you have to do is
jump in.
So we have to give, about this a little bit more.
Who could imagine that the sports industry, for example, can be more than a football game?
Yeah.
Look at the sports industry now in Saudi. Look at the entertainment industry. Look at the investment industry. Look at the green initiatives. Look and look and look. We're the 90s, and we found so many opportunities. Imagine the growing generation.
Wow.
They have an unlimited resourceful. And if we cannot ignore this. We cannot ignore the vision of our crown prince. We cannot.
Yeah.
And this is all great opportunities. And if we don't take them, then it means that there is something.
Yeah, there's something wrong with us. So that became easier. Now it's on us to kind of contribute and do our part in that. And it's partially because obviously you want to succeed. Partially is financial, and partially is inspiration. Now we got kids, and you want them to say, and our kids are not like cut and dry, like, oh, you're not on this or you didn't do that. No, Dad's trying, and with time they appreciate, like, oh, Dad's working, he's trying, he's taken on something that he didn't know about, and I hope we can translate that message to many generations, right?
I love that. Yeah. That's so important. You always want your kids to look up to you. I find the best way a child can look up to a parent is if they feel like, I've seen the progress, the lows and the highs, because we come from the 90s, or I don't know about your parents, but there was always like a polish around, I had the best grades and your dad had the best grades and I had the best grades and everything was great with us, and you don't know the creases, know? And with our generation, it would be so nice for the kids to kind of say, that's where he's growing. My dad is still growing. He doesn't have to be at the top, and the growth itself is something to kind of look forward to. I love that very much.
That drives us, them. We want them to have
I love that.
journey.
But there's a nuance because if they want something, right, for me, then it's like, Dad, they should, you should be Omar Depp, not, it's not Johnny Depp, it's Omar Depp. So, and then you're like, okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
Right? What do you want? So, but in general.
Have they seen the show, the kids?
Yeah.
Every step.
Yeah, there was one episode that they like more than the rest.
So it's more of a comedic angle?
Yes, definitely. Comedic,
I'm so excited to look at it, to watch
drama,
Comedic, drama,
adventure.
You will be taken into some beautiful sceneries across Saudi.
Yeah. What do you want the biggest takeaway to be from the show?
Oh, okay, that's a big. It's not a takeaway.
No, it's a.
And what would you like people to relate to the most? Is it the entrepreneurial part? Is it the
friendship?
The touristic?
Yeah,
friendship. Because seriously, all what you need to conquer the world is a good friend. That's it. That friendship can
easy.
achieve a lot.
We did boxing yesterday.
Yeah,
This is a bit, it's tight. Yeah.
The entrepreneurship, the consistency, the never giving up. Okay, all of these important messages, you will find them, and this is what we want people to see. If me and Omar, we have nothing to do in the camel world, and
or the other one,
or the other one, and we've made it, and we're still gonna make it.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible at all because we have nothing to do with it.
And I think
nothing.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge. We took it, and we dream big.
So that's the, and then obviously from an industry point of view, you want to shed more light on the camel industry and how important it is, and all the economical,
it's a growing
opportunities
industry.
And so forth. Then touristic, you're going to see Saudi in a different light, and you're going to see it in many topographies. And then on the other side, which is the production industry, is I don't think till now there's a show that has been filmed in the same way we filmed it. So it's a new genre, kind of, new way of how we did it. So that if they have an open mind, they're like, oh, okay, we can do shows at this, doing this, and it doesn't have to be $3, $4, $5 million. It could be less than $1 million, done well. So that's an open opportunity. Obviously, we've been knocked for it because they'll be like, oh, this is this, or we're categorizing it as this. No, it's not. It's this. Now you don't want to have an open mind because you're the streamers and so forth. So be it. Our hands are tied. Okay. So, but if you have an open mind, then no, it is a new way of doing something that succeeded outside very well. Why can't it translate?
Yeah.
And the fourth thing is we feel that the show can travel. And we've shown it to a lot of producers, friends in the industry and out that are outside of the Arab world. and they absolutely loved it, and without understanding the language. So you want to do something that is Saudi, and you want to do it in a way where it can travel. And that's the message coming from Saudi, and again, we want to do our part.
Do you ever feel like you'll change direction again? Do you think age or time is ever a factor?
Never.
No.
Other than any opportunity, any new challenge, it's just there is no limits. Literally, no limits. No sky, nothing. Just no limits. We can do anything that can make this world a better place, and we participate in inspiring any human.
Yeah, but we're going to give these its time, and we're going to give it its what it requires to succeed, right? There's no point on shifting if these are not, at a place where we feel like, okay, this is
واللي بعده.
it's running on auto.
Yeah, you need to feel like you're over and done,
Exactly.
Some things take 5 years, 10 years, career is a career.
So
at the end of the
then,
day.
yes.
Yeah.
But within that, obviously there are pivots you have to do within the same business and to grow it and do other things. But once it's on autopilot, then it's time to see.
Age won't, nothing will stop.
Yeah.
It's never
And
too late.
there's no late time. I mean, a lot of people say, "Khalas, I'm 40 now. There's no point of trying something new." You always think that there's something new.
Yes.
That will.
Well, I think the only thing is like if we do action movies, the age will play a
will
factor.
play around.
That's
Okay, fine. You physically can't.
Yeah, physically can't. But like
Yeah.
other than that, no.
So, as you know, the show is called What They Don't Tell Us.
Okay.
If you were to think of the main thing that you learned that you wish you would have learned in school before many other things but happened, just by trial and error of life, what would it be? Let's start with you.
To fail is okay. That's definitely not what they want. Like fail in the exam, it's okay. No, fail is okay, and I think that comes from school, comes from the parents. It's okay to fail, as long as you're trying, you put your best foot forward. It's fine, and that helps you in life take the downs much better than because I'm speaking about myself in the Arab world, you gotta get A's or A pluses. If you get a B, if you get a C, like
Hopeless
hey,
case.
don't come out of the room. Like
Yeah.
that's so that has that mentality, and I think it's shifting. But
Yeah.
that's one thing that you don't learn.
I'm not okay with that word anymore. The word fail has such negative connotation to it. Instead of
Learn.
trying and shifting direction, getting one step closer. This didn't work. Let's see what else will work.
Yeah.
That's more what failing is.
Yeah.
Okay, I just slashed out one option that doesn't work. Let's see the second one that works. What about you?
To imagine. I wish if they taught us that to imagine more, and I wish if they taught us in anything you can imagine in here, you can see it. Because everything we're sitting on, we're working with, it's all started with an idea in the head.
Yeah.
Everything you see around you. So it was always calculated, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. This is, you have to be this. No, just
I mean, Steve
now
Jobs.
there is no limits for imagining.
No.
Whatever we imagine, it is possible that it can happen.
Yeah.
Because
Like if you think of something so hard and keep working at it, it will happen. Inevitable.
it's not only belief. We've seen it throughout our lives.
Yeah.
Once this shift happened in the mindset and in the mentality, you actually see it. It's your reaction to anything that happens that determines the result. This is not only words we hear and motivational speakers. No, it is true.
Equally, if all you're thinking is negative, why is this happening to me? There's a reason why the same people have bad things happening to them over and over again, because it's all you think and do.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm not saying like you can't be just over joyful and positive all the time.
Yeah.
You have to feel all of these feelings: anger, being down, doubting, but then the overarching feeling and mindset should be like, okay.
Keep going.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes time. You said like sometimes it takes 3 weeks, 1 month, whatever. But you gotta get on, like they say, you have to get on the horse again.
Correct. I love that. Thank you so much for this amazing conversation.
Well, thank you.
I'm
Thanks
sure
to
so
you.
many people are going to relate. It's so useful, and I cannot wait to watch the show.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you,
get the
guys.
Oscar.
Yes.
And get the Oscar. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Algeria. جابها. واو واو واو، يا سلام.
وطبيعة خلابة،
أنا سبيتشلس.
وطبعا مأكولات لذيذة.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله.
حكوا واختلفوا وتعبوا أكثر مما كانوا يتخيلوا.
يلا يلا يلا.
كل هذا عشان مهمة كانوا يعتقدون إنها سهلة.
يا ابوي احنا كله اللي سويناه غلط.
بس اكتشفوا إنها مهمة شبه مستحيلة.
الحين إحنا نكمل المشوار ما نوقف.
لا لا لا، أنا حقول لك حاجة، في المشروع ده أمدح.
هل راح يقدرون يوصلون لحلمهم؟ ابقوا معنا لمغامرة مليئة بالمفاجآت.
يا وطن.
أنا والجمال والصحراء واحد.